Hello, I'm Brian Skinner with InformedEntrepreneur.com. I'm here today with Brad Horn, the president of Redux Technology, a division of Azure Water Services in West Haven, Connecticut. Appreciate you talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us exactly what Redux Technology does?
Redux provides chemicals that are used in groundwater remediation systems to prevent fouling of the water treatment systems involved at hazardous waste cleanup sites.
When you say fouling, that doesn't sound good, but what is it?
Fouling is a general term to describe what happens when you treat water in various ways. Scaling and iron deposits, sediment, and microbial mass will begin to build up in a lot of water treatment systems and literally clog them up and create operations problems for the operators.
So basically it's this gunk that will mess up a machine?
That's a good term for it, gunk. Yeah.
Okay. So a company will hire you to come in, fix the way they're treating this contaminated site so their equipment doesn't break?
That's basically it. At hazardous waste cleanup sites, many of the sites treat water, and it turns out that the fouling is probably the major operating problem that these systems run into.
So if they can have someone like yourself come in and prevent this from happening, it just saves the life and the quality of the equipment?
It reduces the amount of time it takes to clean up a hazardous waste site and reduces the costs.
I can imagine with, obviously, environmental concerns in the EPA over the last 30, 40 years that remediation of hazardous sites has become more and more important. Have you seen that play out in the development and the need for your business?
The hazardous waste industry in the United States, there are about something like 150,000 hazardous waste sites in the United States that still need to be cleaned up and will be cleaned up over the next 20 years. And the technology is developed rapidly, and again, our technology is unique in that it's typically the chemicals are added to the water that's being treated, and it's discharged to the environment after treatment. So the chemicals have to be acceptable for discharge into the environment. So our niche kind of claim to fame is that we've developed these products that are effective but are also very safe and not very low toxicity and degrade rapidly in the environment.
Are there special types of sites that use your service more than others? Are they all kind of the same?
Well, about a third of hazardous waste sites are cleaned up by pumping groundwater out of the ground that's contaminated and treating it. There are other methods that are used on the other sites, but that portion of the sites that are handling water are the ones that are our customer base.
Really? Is this a nationwide enterprise, or is it regional within the structure of Azure? How does your division operate?
Our group is national. We have the hazardous waste business, of course, is national as well across the country. It in itself is a niche business, so generally our customers operate in many states or even outside the U.S. So we service sites in all of the contiguous United States, as well as Canada, South America, a little bit in Europe, and some in Asia.
You mentioned there's 150,000 sites that are being contaminated. Have you found that number's kind of staying at 150? As a person who lives in the area, I hope it is. Or do you think that sites are continuously being contaminated? There's always going to be this problem.
There's I'd say a wider recognition in industry as a whole, in industries that handle hazardous materials, to contain them. And part of that is because as an industry, we've come to realize how expensive it is when a small amount of a hazardous chemical spilled gets in the groundwater and in the environment. It can be very expensive to clean up a waste site, and for that reason, there are less spills, and chemical handling is better than it used to be. So even though there still are problems and there are new sites, there are less new sites being generated.
Right.
So the overall number of sites that need to be cleaned up is going down over time.
Okay. I appreciate you talking with us today, Brad.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you for your time. Special thank you to Brad Horn, the president of Redux Technology, a division of Azure Water Services in West Haven. I'm Brian Skinner with Informed Entrepreneur. Thank you.